The garage lights in Bologna had a strange glow in 2025, too bright where Marc Márquez stood, too dim where Pecco Bagnaia sat. It didn't feel like a factory team. It felt like a throne room divided in half. On the left, the alien factor, the man Ducati chased for a decade, the chaos specialist who finally walked into their kingdom wearing a grin sharper than his elbow. A rider who hadn't held the crown since 2019, but came to Ducati like someone returning to collect a debt. On the right, the fallen general, the only man who brought Ducati 2 world titles in the modern era. A rider who carried the weight of Italy on his shoulders. A rider who expected evolution, but instead got a rebellion from his own machine. The GP25 didn't whisper, it screamed, and it screamed with Marc's voice. Every onboard, every lean angle, every impossible save, every launch that felt like a fist to physics. This bike didn't behave like Ducati's traditional monsters. It looked lighter, sharper, more aggressive, less stable, more willing to gamble its front end for a 10th, more willing to attack than negotiate. And when a machine behaves like that, there is only one rider on Earth who thrives inside that chaos. Marc Márquez didn't just ride the GP25, he inhabited it, he possessed it. He piloted it like a soldier reunited with the weapon he'd been waiting for since 2020. Pecco Bagnaia? He didn't ride the GP25. He tried to translate it, tried to understand its accent, tried to decode a language that wasn't built for him. The Empire promised equal machinery, but equal machinery is not equal destiny. Equal machinery is not equal identity. Equal machinery is not equal trust. This was Ducati's darkest truth. You cannot build one bike that serves 2 gods. One will always be favored. One will always be left questioning. Davide Tardozzi admitted it publicly. Proud of Marc, pained for Pecco. And when a team manager uses that word, pained, something deeper is already burning. Was this really a season of good intentions destroyed by technical mismatch? Or was this the year Ducati finally stopped pretending neutrality and chose its direction? Was this the season Pecco realized the empire he built was no longer his? Comment your first reaction. The mistake everyone makes when judging Ducati is assuming they're a racing team. They're not. They're an empire. Empires don't react, they strategize. Empires don't hope, they plan decades ahead. Empires don't celebrate balance, they pick their weapon and sharpen it. Look at Mugello 2024. The moment Marc said, Pramac is not an option, Ducati dropped Jorge Martin within 24 hours and threw open the palace gates for Marc. That wasn't a transfer, that was a power shift. Suddenly, the aura inside the Ducati box changed. Pecco felt it. Everyone felt it. The paddock felt it like static in the air. The engineers didn't follow Pecco's voice anymore. They followed the gravitational pull of a rider whose riding style is so violent it forces the bike to evolve around him. For years, Ducati had one dilemma. Do we build a bike for the perfect student of precision or the outlaw king of chaos? One man brings control, one man brings risk, one man brings predictability, one man brings war. Ducati built 2020-2023 bikes around Pecco's smoothness. They made the front stable, the acceleration predictable, the braking calculated, the corner entry progressive. It was a precision weapon, a surgeon's scalpel. Pecco became champion. Then Marc entered the room. He didn't want stability. He didn't want predictability. He wanted front-end madness. He wanted a bike that lives on the razor between miracle and crash. Suddenly, the GP25 lost its signature stability. It twitched, reacted violently. It demanded input faster than a human could think. It rewarded instant correction and punished calm riding. That is not Pecco Bagnaia's DNA. But Ducati didn't turn back. They kept pushing the bike in that direction. Tardozzi slipped it out without even realizing the magnitude. We are really taking care of what is not working good. That is Pecco, not the bike. Not the concept, not the design philosophy, Pecco. This is the part where the politics become visible. VFR Fortis's GP24 riders struggled too. Gianantonio couldn't unlock the bike, said openly he lacked feeling in long corners. Different riders, different teams, same complaint. And yet, the GP25 loved only one man. Why didn't Ducati just stay with the GP24 concept? They could have. That bike was universally adaptable. It could have given Pecco a legit shot at 3 titles. It could have allowed Diggia to stay competitive. It could have delivered symmetry. But Ducati didn't want symmetry. The GP24 was equality. The GP25 was intent. One bike designed around total aggression. One bike sharpened for one apex predator. You can call it coincidence. You can call it evolution. Or you can call it what it looked like. Ducati wanted a season with brutal domination, a psychological reset of the paddock, and a margin large enough to signal a new era. Marc winning with 5 rounds left? That doesn't happen by accident. That happens when every molecule of development tilts toward one riding style. Pecco Bagnaia wasn't betrayed, he was out-prioritized, and the more he struggled, the more Marc thrived. By Motegi, Pecco showed a glimpse of renaissance. But every renaissance needs a foundation, and his was slipping. Marc kept winning, Aldeguer kept rising, Alex Marquez kept proving consistency, Ducati kept glowing under triple crowns, Pecco kept searching. Was Ducati solving problems or building a narrative? Was their new era meant to include Pecco or replace him? Was this political negligence or political precision? Think about it. Was this focus or strategy? The garage that once revolved around him rotated towards someone else. The engineers that once built around him now built for a different universe. The paddock that once feared his consistency now questioned his future. When Tardozzi said, "It's painful. Pecco is the most important rider for Ducati. He deserves our maximum help." That wasn't reassurance. That was mourning. The moment someone says you deserve help, it means the help didn't arrive when it mattered. And Ducati knows the consequence. 2026 is Pecco's final audition. No more excuses, no more emotional cushioning, no more legacy protection. If he fails, the replacements are already lined up. Aldeguer Acosta, Quartararo Martin, maybe, or even Toprak. And Aprilia is standing at the gate with open arms. This is the brutal truth. Ducati didn't fail Pecco. Ducati outgrew Pecco, and they were willing to pay the emotional cost to crown Marc. This collapse wasn't mechanical. It was structural. It was political. It was managerial. It was the empire choosing a new general, and the general they chose won them a title with 5 rounds left. Was this gravity pulling Pecco back to earth, or the tax Ducati charged to build the GP25 in Marc's image? Think. Comment below. 2 truths can coexist. Pecco Bagnaia is the greatest project Ducati ever raised. Marc Márquez is the greatest weapon Ducati ever acquired. The GP25 exposed the difference. Pecco needs harmony. Marc needs chaos. Pecco needs stability to unlock pace. Marc needs instability to unlock instincts. When Ducati had to choose which philosophy led to faster progress, they picked the one with higher ceiling. Marc's ceiling is history level. Pecco's ceiling is greatness level. But history always beats greatness. Ducati used 2025 to send a message to Honda, KTM, Aprilia, Yamaha, and every rider from Acosta to Quartararo. We have Marc. We have the bike he wanted. We have the crown. But this creates a new war. What happens in 2026 if Pecco still can't adapt? He loses his seat. There's no emotional debate left. What happens if Marc dominates again? Ducati becomes untouchable heading into the 2027 equal spec era. What happens if the GP26 splits the riders even more? Then Ducati will pivot fully to Marc's DNA and rebuild around aggression, not symmetry. What happens to Pecco, Aprilia, VR46, or a brave reset no one expects? But here's the biggest truth no one wants to say aloud. Pecco did not fall. The world around him moved faster than his instincts could adapt. Marc rewrote the environment, and Ducati let it happen. Because in racing, loyalty lasts only until the next 10th of a second. The Empire wanted a margin. They got one. Now they must deal with the emotional cost of choosing one rider's future over another rider's legacy. 2025 wasn't dominance. It was a transition, and transitions always leave someone behind. From now, where does this put them? The time will tell us. Comment below. Subscribe for more savage breakdowns.